Before I continue, I just want to reference this to compare also somehow one of the smallest companies in terms of market cap. I'm pausing this first at AGI at 125.49 billion, but if I'll go down to the lowest, you will actually see this, that you have Swift Foods at about 121.84 million. And you also have, say, Mabuhay Alliance Holdings equities at 223.47 million pesos. So see how big of a difference the largest companies in terms of market cap are in terms of their ones that are relatively smaller. Before we continue with the video, I'd like to invite everyone to Investment Conference 2023. This is an event that we co-founded about 10 years ago with the goal to educate people about investing and different investments that are out there. We have a lot of speakers from Randall Chongson, Rex Mendoza, David Lichu, Alvin Ang. But what's interesting for this year also, since I've been pushing and I've been a very big advocate of Web3 cryptocurrencies and NFTs, we're adding crypto into the mix. If you want to venture into crypto and NFTs, check out the link down below. It's happening May 27, 2023 at Samsung Hall. We're gonna have 1,000 people, 1,000 investors joining us. So I hope to see you there. See the links below and back to In this video, I want to talk about the largest companies in the Philippines, the largest stocks in the Philippines. There's a lot of ways on how people would somehow analyze largest, because at the end of the day, the term large is something also that's very subjective. There are a lot of ways to look at it. You could look at it based on assets. You could look at it also based on what its equity is. Do remember that assets minus liabilities are their equities. People could also look at it based on their sales, or people could look at it also based on their revenue, or people could also look at it based on, this is the company that has a lot of employees in terms of their headcount as well, or in terms of the number of branches that they have. It's such a subjective term that there are a lot of ways people would actually say largest. But in this video, I'm ranking the largest companies based on its market cap. And for those who are asking what market cap basically is, it's just basically the stock price multiplied by the number of shares that's available in the market, the number of shares that's available for people to be able to purchase, not just by retailers but also by institutions as well. It's a basic barometer that this would be the value of the company if you took out all of their shares and then you sold them at its current market price. What would be the value? And if you multiply that together, that would be its market cap. And just also for a rule of thumb, I know I've made so many videos about this, especially for people who follow me in crypto, because one of the biggest barometers that people look at also is the market cap of the cryptocurrencies. But that being said, the larger the market cap of the company, or the higher the number of its market cap, the more people see it as something that's a bigger company. The more people see it as something that's larger also in scale, and the larger the stability it has, especially in terms of price. On the flip side also, the smaller the market cap, there's a sense that there's a bigger sense of volatility. It's easier for the stock price to go down, and if you'll stay up until the end of the video, you'll actually see that the companies, the stocks that have the largest market caps are the ones that are also in the index, because the PSE is market cap weighted, meaning the larger your market cap is, the larger your influence will be in the Philippine Stock Exchange Index as well. So if you're the type of person and you're watching this that you don't actually know what stock you could actually start studying, I'm not even talking about what you're supposed to buy, I'm just talking about what are you supposed to study first. One way for you to actually analyze it and look at it is to somehow look at which are the larger ones first, because if you're too scared about the volatility of smaller stocks, smaller cap stocks, you don't also want the anxiety or the fear of what if this company is not around anymore over the next few years. I think the larger the market cap, there's a larger sense also that since it's in the index, there's a larger chance that this company is bigger, better, stronger. And please do note this also, that if the market cap is higher, that actually means that it's not just retailers buying it, you have institutions buying it as well. And when you have institutions buying it as well, you have a larger number of people also analyzing it. You have institutions that have researchers, fundamental analysts taking the time to actually see if this is a fundamentally sound company. So there. If you guys are excited, comment below, comment I'm excited, comment I want to learn more. And similar to what I've been doing, if you guys have any questions, put them down below. I'll do my best to be able to answer the questions that you may have as well. Now, first things first is Century Pacific, CNPF. Its market cap by the time of this recording is 91.57 billion. Please do note that the market cap changes every time the market is open, also because the stock price moves. Nickel Asia is next at 91.87 billion pesos, followed by Pure Gold at 93.42 billion pesos as well. Then you have GT Capital. We're now entering 10 digits, 102.91 billion pesos. Then you have another conglomerate, LTG, the Lushutan Group, with 109.9 billion pesos as well. Followed by Bloomberry, or Bloom, the stock code Bloom, with 113.83 billion pesos. Then you have Semirara Mining, the mining arm company of the MCI, at 114.76 billion pesos. Then you also have Philtrust Bank with 115 billion pesos, followed by Wilcon at 118.69 billion pesos as well. Then you have another holding company, this time owned by the TANs. So you have Alliance Global with a market cap of 125.49. So before I continue, I just want to reference this to compare also somehow one of the smallest companies in terms of market cap. I'm pausing this first at AGI at 125.49 billion, but if I'll go down to the lowest, you will actually see this, that you have Swift Foods at about 121.84 million. And you also have, say, Mabuhay Alliance Holdings equities at 223.47 million pesos. So see how big of a difference the largest companies in terms of market cap are in terms of their ones that are relatively smaller. Now let's continue. Now you have MPI, which is 127.12 billion pesos. And please do note, I made a video about MPI 2 days ago talking about the tender offer that they have. This is one of the relatively bigger companies also that will delist in the stock market. One of the ones that is defensive, fundamentally sound, but they're going out of the market and they just want to be a private company. DMC, another holding company, at 130.25 billion. You have Monde Nissin, which IPO'd 2 years ago. Market cap is 168.01 billion. And the way you could also analyze this, if you're comparing, say, conglomerates, you could actually say that market cap-wise, DMC is actually bigger than Alliance Global. DMC and Alliance Global from a conglomerate standpoint also is bigger than LTG and also GT Capital. So it's a very numerical but also subjective way to actually see if a company is big or not, and you have a numeric basis for it. Anyways, let's continue. We have another bank right now, Union Bank at 195.13 billion pesos, followed by ASEN, AC Energy with 238.46. See the jump, no? Very, very interesting. There was a very, very big jump in terms of market cap. ASEN is already 238 billion. The last one that I've mentioned was around 195.13 billion, which was Union Bank. And we started everything off with CNPF with around 91 billion pesos. Comment below, by the way, if you have an idea, who do you think is the biggest company in the Philippines? Any idea on who do you think it is? Put it in the comment section below. Anyways, let's continue. Now you have Globe Telecom with about 244 billion pesos, followed by Jollibee Foods with 251.8 billion pesos. Then you have San Miguel, the conglomerate, with 253.17 billion pesos, followed by PLDT with 260 billion pesos. So if you're, by the way, comparing it also, PLDT 260 billion pesos versus Globe, which is a bigger company, PLDT at 260 at the time of this recording from a market cap perspective is relatively bigger than Globe. Primarily also Globe has retraced in price, but PLDT also as well. That's why it's a nice head-to-head comparison also when you're trying to look at it from that perspective. You're trying to look at companies altogether. Anyways, another bank, Metro Bank, MBT, with a market cap of 263.47. Then you have Aboitiz Power. We're entering the power space again, 279 billion pesos, followed by San Miguel Pure Foods with 282.76 billion pesos as well. Then you have Aboitiz Equity Ventures, another holding company with 308.25 billion pesos. Then we're going to food. Universal Robina Corporation, or URC, with 320 billion pesos, followed by Emperador with 328.89 billion pesos. Then you have JG Summit, another holding company, at 381.31 billion pesos. Then going back to energy, you have Manila Electric, Meralco, MER, at 382.09 billion pesos. Then you have Ayala Corporation, another holding company. If you notice it also, a large chunk of the ones that I'm listing right now, at least the top ones, majority of them are holding companies. A majority of them are conglomerates. You have Ayala at 395.64 billion pesos. Then you have its land property or land unit, Ayala Land, with 399.35 billion pesos. So another interesting facet, Ayala Land, from a market cap perspective, is actually bigger than Ayala Corporation, the mother company that owns shares also to Ayala Land as well. Now let's continue. ICT is at 440.99 billion. Very interesting. People always talk about Ali, but when you look at it from a market cap perspective, ICT is at 440.99 billion pesos. Then you have Golden Haven at 526.24 billion in terms of market cap. We've talked about the big three. We've started already with the third largest bank in the Philippines, and it's also reflecting in its market cap. We're going another bank, one of the largest banks also, BPI, with 531.27 billion. Then you have BDO. The market cap of BPI is 531.27 billion pesos. Then you have your jump to BDO Unibank at 758.08 billion pesos. So there's a very, very big gap between BDO at 758 billion versus, say, Metrobank at 263.47 billion pesos. That's how big the market cap of BDO is. Now, here's what's interesting. BDO are owned by the C's. The next one, larger than BDO also in terms of market cap, and there's a big jump also, is SM Prime, SMPH, which is about 980.45 billion pesos. And lastly, to cap everything off, an investment company, SMIC or SM, at 1.09 trillion pesos. So, interesting thing, top three in terms of market cap, you have BDO, you have SM Prime, and you also have SM, and they form a large part of how the index is. So how SM Prime, and BDO would move would heavily influence and impact the index as well. And if you go lower, you have BPI as part of the mix. You also have ICT, you have AC, and you have Ali. The PSEI is market cap weight index. How the large cap stocks move heavily influence the index as well. So there, I hope you guys learned a lot about the largest companies in the Philippines that are listed in the stock market based on how big their market cap is. I hope also this gave you a refresher course on what market cap is as well. If you want to learn more about investing in the stock market, about fundamental analysis, check out the books that I have below. They're available via Shopee, or if you want to learn via webinars, check out the links below. I have a webinar which is all about fundamental analysis, which allows you to watch it from the comforts of your home. And what's interesting about that is, since it's a webinar, it's already pre-recorded. You can watch it as many times as you want as well, and you could take down notes while you're doing so. Icon 2023, please do remember, Samsung Hall, May 27, as what I mentioned at the start of the video. Join us as we're going to talk about stocks and crypto all together, and I hope that it's something that will give you insight to have the right information also, so you can trade with conviction and confidence as well. So that's it for now. This is marvingermo. I hope this video helps you. Trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. But if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, appreciate it if you could press the subscribe button, hit on the bell so you get updated every time I come up with new content about investing.